thank you for watching Behind the Curtain. I'm Lauren Hillman with Theatrix Youth Theater Society, and today I'm interviewing two people. This is a special episode with Cydney Eva and Lindy Sisson, a mother-daughter duo.
Hi.
Hello. So let's start with Lindy. Tell us what you do in the arts.
What do I do in the arts? I've had a 35-year career in the arts, but really I started as a child as well from a theater family. But right now I am trying to be an arts consultant. This summer we had a program called LEAN, Leadership Emergency Arts Network. And so I was working with them, helping arts organizations like Theatrix through this COVID crisis.
Wow, that's great. And Cydney, what do you do?
I am a visual artist and a fashion designer, and I run a brand with my husband called Pattern Nation between Canada and South Africa. So I previously studied visual art and a year of theater at SFU, and I'm now studying fashion design at Cape Town College for fashion design.
Wow. So let me go back to like your origin stories. Do either of you remember your first experience in the arts?
We were both born into it, hey?
Yeah. You see this poster behind me? Actually, that's the Vancouver International Children's Festival. So I was privileged in my career to run two international children's festivals, one in Edmonton and one here in Vancouver. So Cydney grew up at children's festivals. And I grew up with a theater family in Peace River, Alberta. It's a northern town of Alberta. And my parents started a local theater company called Peace Players. And so my parents were kind of like George Burns and Gracie Allen. They were a comedy team. And the way that they made money to support bringing in touring theater and dance and music to the town was by putting on a comedy show called Sorry About That, which was an old school burlesque style where really the chorus girls were just there so the comics could change their costumes. And
yeah. I love that. Cydney, is there anything you'd like to add to that about your getting started?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I always love to draw and paint, which is, I'm sort of the first visual artist in the family. And so that was something I always did like through my elementary to high school years. But then, yeah, theater was a big part of my life when I was younger. I would do every school play I could, and I was in Theatrix, I don't know how many years. And then I also was with Leahy Heaven Circus, their youth group. And then in my first year of university, I also studied theater until I realized, you know what, visual art is my passion. It was a great experience, though. I'm glad I did theater. It was so much fun as a kid. Like, I remember being back-to-back plays, one after another, always working on something. And Theatrix was cool because it filled in the gaps from school plays because those weren't all the time.
So here's a question for Cydney. How did you find, because you did a lot of theater when you were younger, but now you're primarily a visual artist. How do you find the two fields help each other or related, or how did theater influence your art?
Yeah, I think it was really a great experience. I mean, I love being on stage, and when I do get to go on stage still with, mostly it'll be dance. Through dance, I also have been doing street dance, hip hop, whacking house dance since I was like 14. So I don't get as many chances to be on stage, but it's taught me that confidence. It's taught me, you know, the importance of working in a team. So whenever I can, love to create collaborations where multiple different artists will come together, which I think you get to experience in theater, because otherwise visual art, or especially with the digital side of it or video editing, like all that side of things I do, it's very solo. Even fashion, you're cutting, you're sewing yourself. So I think theater definitely instilled in me like the understanding of how important it is to learn from others and work as a group and to balance everyone's contributions. It was so fun. I don't know. Growing up and being in plays was so fun. And especially as someone who didn't fit in, I found my home in the theater departments. I went to Charles Best, and then I later went to Riverside for 2 years. And I got to meet a lot of really cool people that way.
For sure. I know that's a pretty common theme among theater people, is like you find your home there. But while we're on the topic of things you did when you were young, let's just take a second. Do either of you have a favorite Theatrix memory from way back?
I do.
Okay,
Okay.
It might be one of your most embarrassing moments, though, Cydney.
Oh, I remember. I think I know what it is.
Cydney had this
Christmas
skirt.
show.
You had a lot of parts in this play.
The Nutcracker. That's what it was. The
You had
Nutcracker.
to change costume a lot, and you were Santa Claus as well. Was that the same play?
Yeah. No, wait. That one you're thinking of, I think, is Nutcracker.
Okay. Well, the thing is that as Cydney was giving her speech, her skirt was falling down.
It fell down. Yeah.
we've all been there.
And you just kept going. Now your brother, who was in the scene with you, and his whoever his friend was, I can't remember.
Peter Wiedner, yeah.
Peter, yeah. Now they were having a hard time keeping a straight face because they knew what was going on, but you kind of didn't. You were just in character, man. And you kept going. The show must go on. I don't know.
I might have even stepped out of my skirt. I didn't know what I did. It was one of those big Victorian era.
Yeah, you just carried on like nothing had happened. It was awesome.
I also remember I played Barbarella in Theatrix. I looked a lot older than everyone else. I'm 6 foot tall, and I was that tall probably by the time I almost.
You grew, yeah.
And everybody else was much younger, so I got to play some really fun roles.
For sure.
And I would what was that one character? Barbarella. I remember I wore from Payless shoes, high-heeled boots, which I would never wear, and I was like the evil person posing as Santa Claus. I think because of my difference in this, my confidence and just, I got to play these maybe not the lead roles, but the most eccentric or evil or the mother or those ones that were just I could play with a lot.
Yeah, these really great character roles.
Cydney and I actually, we did a play together for the Fringe.
Yeah.
And it really was about the questions you're asking, kind of about our origins in theater and our history as growing up into, what we're doing now. And it was called I Have My Own Steps, Mom, which maybe not the best title because some people thought it was about her stepmom, which was, then we're like, oh, right. But Cydney went to a SFU dance class. Now, I was the one who wanted to go to SFU as a dancer. Then I asked the teacher, how is she doing in the class? And she goes, she's doing really great, but it would be nice if she did the steps that I'm trying to teach. But she says she has her own steps. So we call it I Have My Own Steps, Mom, because it makes sense to me too, because I choreographed so young. I loved making up dances, so that was my thing. And then choreography really was kind of a metaphor for my life in the arts, because I look at it as choreographing whatever project I'm on.
So I've done a few of these interviews with people, and a really common theme that I have found from pretty much everyone I've talked to who is a professional in the arts industry, they have so many different skills. Nobody seems to be just an actor or just an agent, just a consultant. Everybody has a million different things that they can do and roles that they can step into. Do either of you have experiences like that you can share?
Well, maybe I'll tell you what happened after I went to University of Alberta and I took a theater degree. And then I went to dance school at Grant MacEwan at college after theater school because I just wanted to dance for the whole year. And then I'm like, well, I have to get a job. So I went around to all the theaters and I asked them, well, what kind of jobs are there? Because I just wanted to be in and near the theater. And I landed an administrative job. I lied about being able to type well. I had taken typing, that's how old I am, in high school. So, I could type, but it wasn't great. But I got this job at the U of A Students' Union Theater. There, I learned how to book rooms. Stage managing is an excellent kind of skill. It teaches you so much that is applicable to many different life skills that you need and jobs that you could do. Marketing and promotions was part of that, and doing contracts. So I learned this basis of administrative and promotional work. And then I got the promotion job at the Citadel Theatre in Edmonton, and while I actually was out here on the coast for my grandma's funeral, my friend put my name up for the job of the Teen Festival of the Arts and the Children's Festival and Theater School producer, because I was already working at the Children's Festival. What a huge opportunity. This was in the 80s, and I landed this incredible job. And so all of the previous skills helped me, and I was teaching in the theater school as well, movement for actors. So I had that job, and that's why I ended up getting the Vancouver International Children's Festival job. But what I did realize at that point was that the multiple kinds of jobs that I had, the various skills that I learned, really helped me to be a good boss, because then I could understand the production, the rentals, the contracts, the technical side of it. I could understand the promotional side of it. I had a lot to learn about being a boss and the HR side of things. But you know, it's really important to do different things to beef up your skill set, because then it increases your problem solving abilities. And also, I shared this with a friend just yesterday, you're only as good as the questions you ask.
Cydney, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think my skill sets are different than what you have, Mom. Here's all the things I can do. I can dance, I can act, I can edit videos, shoot videos and photo shoots, edit websites, design, sew, draft patterns for my own clothing, design the actual textile prints on the clothing, paint murals, teach children, teach dance, as well as I feel like paint. I'm a painter as well, drawing. And so, you know what I mean? It's like how it's very hard to package that, but I feel like I've learned so many skills because I honestly can't afford to hire people to help me create the vision. So what am I going to do? I'm going to learn how to do it myself. I think that there is a big push to define yourself as one thing, that I see, especially in like marketing or say the visual art world. They want, it's even in my painting style, I'm always trying different stuff. So I don't know if it's the best way, it's not for everyone, but I heard the term in a book I read recently called multi-hyphenate. So, you know, there's a lot of people that do feel this way about their skills, and there's others that just are really, really good at that one field that they're in. I think you shouldn't limit yourself if you're interested in learning something new.
Absolutely. Now, that was just talking about how one of our art skills seems to translate into having more art skills and learning more of them. But what do you guys think about what skills has working in the arts just brought to you as a person?
Well, I think one thing we have in common is the event production kind of thing, and the ability to get people together, coordinate, you know, and share a vision. It's planning skills for your own personal life, to even plan a trip. Some people can find that really challenging, you know. And what is the vision of your trip? And something that I've studied in the last few years is a thing. It's around the essence of what you want to be doing. So a lot of organizations have their mission, vision, and values, but what's the essence of what you want to do? So even in a relationship, a family, when you want to plan a vacation, what does everybody want to get out of that? So I think, you know, art skills actually help you go to really mine your vision as to what the outcomes are that you want, and then personally that helps you, you know, make sure you have a fulfilling personal life as well.
For me, during COVID and the lockdown for here, it was pretty intense. For about 3 months we weren't allowed to leave our house except for the grocery store. So me and my husband were artists. He's a musician. I'm into painting, and we share a lot of the other skills. We were never bored. Like, we could watch TV and chill, but I always know there's something I can do, whether it's making a new shirt for myself or painting or dancing around the house. You know, it's that freedom to know that I can fill my time with something that fulfills me and create, even if, you know, the whole world changes.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's something that's connected us through COVID is that my go-to ended up being dance again because I started as a dancer. So I've created this thing called Chakra Groove Flow, and I teach a class on Zoom once a week, and I do it at 10 a.m. in the morning so that we can connect. Cydney can do it at 7 or 8 o'clock in Cape Town. So we actually dance together once a week. I just needed to dance when all of this happened, and I'm 60, but I know what my body needs, and so I think what happens is that we become more so of what we already are. So creatives dive deeper into their creativity. And unfortunately, maybe anxious people get more anxious and they have to look for an out. So having a creative outlet that is
Yeah.
not event planning, because events are not happening. It's funny, I came up with that suggestion because that's what I was starting to do, was doing artistic programming freelance, because that was my biggest joy of my life, was putting audiences together with artists. And I can't do that anymore, but I can still dance, and I dance with my daughter once a week.
Speaking of the greatest passions we have, I can see listening to both of you that you're both very passionate artists. So if you were to say the one aspect of the arts that you're most drawn to, most passionate about, what would you say that is? And why do you feel drawn to that?
It's hard to choose one, man. I have a great admiration for art made by people of color. For me, that really excites me as someone who is working towards allyship and wants my work to help empower other artists and share voices. So I think it's more than just a genre, it's like a vibe.
That makes sense. Lindy, what do you feel for you is the most, the part of the arts that you're the most drawn to, and why?
Right. Well, as I was saying, my go-to was dance to make myself re-energized, rejuvenated. But I've also turned a bit to writing, and going from all that grant writing and proposal writing that I had done to personal writing. But another side of me that's really important is arts activism. How can I make a difference? So I made a dance film. So that's on our YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel, as well as our show that we did together, if anyone's interested.
I love that both of you were bringing up social issues, because this year, and maybe it's because of COVID, but that happens to be what Theatrix is focused on a lot this year. So I find it really great that you both were bringing up social issues, and you're both really involved in that specifically. For my very last question of the day, I would just like to hear from you guys each, talking directly to the kids who might be watching. What tips, what final last words of advice would you have for kids who are thinking about making a career out of the arts industry, whether as a stage manager or an actor or a consultant or a dancer or an artist, anything?
I mean, I guess it's just be you, and if you are drawn to things people around you don't like, whether it's in your taste of music to your clothing, like that's exciting. Like there's a lot of joy and difference. You can share things with people in your community that they might grow to like, and I think now kids have such access to so many different outlets of media, and so pursue what is inspiring you. Don't be limited by the one medium that you have to pick. And I think just be yourself. I think there's a lot of pressure to like fit in with your peers, and really in the end of the day, like people will love and appreciate you if you're being authentic. And to try to find that at a young age is really hard, but it really does pay off. I'm in my 20s now, and I just feel so lucky that I was able to, through the arts and through theater, find who I am at a young age. And so, just try anything creative. Don't judge yourself, and have fun doing it, and share it with your friends, like make a day out of it, or, just try to be open or not judgmental about what you create.
Great. Well, how about I share my father, Sydney's grandfather's advice was to make a difference in the world and have as much fun as possible doing it. So, you know, that's what he taught us as well, to think for yourself, to keep an open mind. And I would say, you know, follow your curiosity. And failure is the thing you learn from. Making mistakes, who says they're a mistake? So, yeah, and have fun exploring.
That's a fantastic way to end things. So let's end it right there. Thank you both so much for coming today, and thank everyone for watching Behind the Curtain.
That's why I'm really supportive of Theatrix, and that's why I got Cydney into Theatrix, because, you know, I think that youth can do so much.